Hello, dear. You are listening to an episode of Enute Day, a podcast by Dickinson and Doja. Iyotana, enjoy yourself.
Yep.
Hi guys. I'm sorry, but I cannot just not say hi guys.
I think
Like,
you're not
is it-
saying welcome to my YouTube channel.
I'm resisting it. Like it's so hard, but I'm trying.
Okay, feel free to say welcome to this channel.
Welcome to my YouTube.
Are you breathing properly now?
Yes, I am.
So this is a very special episode. I mean, I know many of our episodes are always special, but this one's very, very special because, first of all, we want to talk about a movie that we have been meaning to talk about for a while.
Yeah.
I think Doja hinted at it on the What's New episode.
Yeah.
And I think you hinted at it on Doja's interview. Did you mention it at Doja's interview?
At the time, I think I did because like it was not out at the time, but it was,
Okay, yeah,
they were
the
about
trailer.
to, yeah.
Yep. So, but we wanted to wait to have it
With the right.
having it recorded with the right person. And that's like the second reason why the episode is special.
Okay.
So,
Drum rolls.
so we have the right person, and we want the right person to introduce himself.
He's the right person.
Am I supposed to say I'm the right person?
Please, by all means.
I am the right person
Yeah, he's the right
that we've
person.
been talking about. I mean to have been waiting to be on this show. Thank you very much for inviting me to the show.
Thank
For
you
inviting
too.
me to this podcast. I think I'm the host and these are
Yes,
my
guest.
today I'm the guest. I don't mind. I'm guest. Who am I not to be the guest?
So my name is Chinweike Samuel Bakery.
Big name.
So that day will open doors for you in the future.
Come on
Whether
now.
you write it, wherever you write the podcast, whether you write coupon codes.
I'm not a billionaire yet.
Yet, very important.
Emphasis on yes. Capital letter Y
Emphasis on
it
yes.
is. Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for bringing me on your podcast. This is something I believe so much in, and I've looked forward to being on the podcast with you guys. Thank you so much.
Emotional.
Finally, I don't blame.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Please, if you hear my name, if you hear my name on if you see my name on NTD, it's me. In case you see me anywhere, I can sign autograph. My signature is not so long.
Fair enough, really, fair enough. This is one of the people that have believed so much in entity, like right from before the inception, before the genesis. And his faith has sort of carried us through, this past 6 months, 7 months.
I don't know.
And yeah, so I mean, it's such a privilege and double honor, right? Triple
have
honor,
him
even.
here.
Yeah, to have
No, to be here.
yeah, to be here on
his
this episode,
pod- yeah,
to
his
be on this
episode.
podcast episode. So- and another thing that he hasn't mentioned is that he's very entrepreneurial. He always has ideas. Like he always has ideas. Like he can sell you your kidney.
I'll show you all the reasons why you need to. I'll show you all the reasons why you need to sell it and how you're going to do anything in your life.
He can sell you your kidney. He's always having ideas. Like every time, like I can count like 12 different ideas that he has sold me. Like if I just had money, I would have just invested. If I was Sabinus, I would have investor. I would just invest.
Very soon.
So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on the episode. Would like him to talk a little about his interest and what he's currently working on before we get right to the meat of the episode. So
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. So I've not yet blue as the way they are making me look like, but I shall soon blue. So thank you very much for having me here. Like Dixon rightly said, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm an entrepreneur. How do you spell it? Say that.
That was story for another day.
I'm a businessman.
Simple.
very simple.
At my
Very
shop.
simple.
Wow.
Shop. I'm an entrepreneur at Eden Shop Eden actually, and
That's another big name.
When I hear it, does tingles in my body.
We'll add link to the shop Eden in the description.
Yeah, so
I
you
will
can
probably
check it
probably
out.
tell you guys more about it on our handle. So you guys will know.
Please do. I'm looking for customers. but Shop Eden, we just do customized t-shirts. We are mostly focused on faith-based t-shirts, but we also do other kind of t-shirts in case you want t-shirts for your events, for your conferences, for your tech events, for your own personal self and all that. You just want to wear a t-shirt and be looking at the mirror and be smiling with your name on it. You can just reach out to us. So I have interest, like he rightly said. I love business, and I think when I get a chance to go to school again, I think I would like to get an MBA. I love business so much, and I'm interested in especially the transportation business. Those guys are making a lot of money. I used to calculate from here.
Guys, see what we are saying.
You see, just know that's giving you business idea. I guess you know.
I used to calculate from here to Lagos and say, no, I must get into this business because what is this? So I think if you're a Nigerian, just an average Nigerian, at least once in your life, a business idea would have crossed your mind. Even if
That's
it's
true.
That's
True.
like
Yeah.
even if it's to be baking bread, or
Or to
selling
be
buns, or
cleaning
selling perfume,
houses.
or you just be like, there are like 1,000 houses here. If I clean this house and they pay me 5K
just
times
broke my
1,000.
You talk my mind.
So I have interest in business transportation. I will just stop at transportation, but what I'm currently working on is on building the brand Shop Eden with my team. I work at Shop Eden. They are with very cool guys, people like Oreva. Shout out to Oreva. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Uncle Kenny. Shout out to Ferdinand, our angel investor. So yeah. So I'm really glad to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Should we take a breather?
Thank you for having us on your podcast.
On your podcast, yes.
It's such a privilege.
Welcome.
Don't take it for granted.
Don't mention.
Okay.
Whoa.
So on to today's episode. I don't know. Some people I don't know why I like seeing this thing.
Which is
But I'll just say it like that because I've already started. So
What is that?
you may have seen the title of the episode that you already know what we are going to talk about. But then if you do not know, this episode is about the movie Áfàméfùnà. I hope I pronounced it well.
I hope you have.
And Nwa
Boy.
Nwa Boy story.
Nwa
Yeah.
Boy.
So that movie came out in
That's April.
April
Really?
or so.
February.
That I don't remember. I don't remember now. But Sha came out earlier this year, and we were already in when
We talked about that movie in the winners.
we talked.
It
we
was
just
nominated.
it was nominated for.
Best something Kenny like that.
They had so many these things in what they call it, AMBC.
Yeah.
So we're that's what this episode is about, basically. What am I saying? Anyway, so our guest
Our
here,
host.
aka sorry, hey,
You did whine?
Jesus, hey, sorry, forgive me. Our host, our host here loves the movie. So I heard, right?
Yeah.
At the time, I heard he had
From
watched it like 2
From your
times.
co-guest.
At that time,
Now you not give your co-guest credit.
who's my
It's
co-guest?
when who is sitting beside
Was it
you.
you I heard it from?
That
Eh,
your host likes
sorry.
the movie.
Okay, sorry,
Well,
I heard it
when I
from you.
pitched
Wait
it,
now.
When he's trying to give me
But
glory
then,
like that.
there
When
was
he's trying
now.
to call me out for trouble. You be
Now
saying,
you are derailing from the. We
What
are
are you
going
saying?
far away from the point.
I want you to give me my flowers.
Take your flower now.
But I don't want it.
So I actually heard from someone else that he had watched the movie like 2 times. At the time it just came out.
At
And
the time, oh.
me, I was still struggling to. I know what took me that night. I just said, let me watch Áfàméfùnà big, so that we'll record this episode. Like it actually took me time. I don't know why, but I heard I watched like 2 times, and then he now watched it again for this episode, like to show you. Oh God. Oh God.
You don't know about it.
You don't know.
I came prepared.
So yeah, I think before we start, for people that have not watched, the people that have forgotten, not me though, but people that have forgotten, he's going to tell us about the movie because he likes it a lot. I mean, he's the host, so who should happen to tell us about the movie than him? So he's going to tell us about the movie right about now.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So the movie Áfàméfùnà, Oma Boy, is it like Doja rightly said, it's a movie I love so much. I love the way it portrays the Igbo businessman, the Igbo apprenticeship system, IAS. I just love the way it portrays it, and then I could relate to it because my dad was a businessman or used to be a businessman.
So this runs in the
Yeah,
blood.
you probably.
It's-
Can you say that?
We can say that.
Okay, no,
Can say
it doesn't.
that.
The mom is a businessman. I'm not business inclined. So none of it like to run in the blood. Not all that is blood, please.
So, but we used to have more boys then growing up,
Okay.
and we saw a lot of things. We saw a lot of things, both the ones stealing money, the ones that were loyal, the ones that were. We saw a lot of things. So, but the movie Áfàméfùnà is actually, I love the way it portrays the Igbo man and then their apprenticeship system. So let's start from the beginning of the movie. The plot of the movie. The plot of the movie is just. Should I go ahead with the plot?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's just this young man at the beginning. He's celebrating his father's funeral because he couldn't do that at the time his father died because his father died when they didn't have money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and then the story starts at that funeral celebration, and then Segun Arinze, who plays SP Gidoku, now comes in, and then is looking for him because he wants to take him away concerning the death of his friend
Yeah.
or his colleague,
Yeah.
Paulo.
Yeah, follow.
So they get to the station, and then at the station, the interrogations begin, series of interrogations, and that's where we now get the
Full detail.
the
of
full
the
detail,
movie.
yes, of the movie. We now get the whole gist of the movie, and I think what was even interesting for me was, this is just I don't want to wait to get to that point before I say
Okay.
that the way Segun Arinze was able to switch
From
Hausa
Hausa to Igbo.
was like a superpower.
I was not expecting. I was just like, what?
That was impressive.
Like, it was like a
Give
superpower.
Segun Arinze.
Because literally, you know when he came in, like at the burial place, was
He made
So
the guy feel
Hausa.
guilty. He made Afam feel guilty.
Yes.
For me, I felt like
he came to intimidate him.
yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, no, there's a part where I want to talk about very, very well. I love the way Afam stood up for his wife in that movie.
Oh, wow.
You know. So Afam now starts the story of how he lost his father, and then his mom took him from Onitsha to Lagos to go and serve under Odogu, who was played by Kanayo Okanayo.
Yeah.
So his mom took him to Lagos
Nice sacrifice.
because they had that custom they had that culture of someone from the family has to go out and hustle and then come back and take care of every other person.
Yeah.
So his mom takes him to Lagos. He meets Odogu, which is Kanayo, and then the mom departs and leaves him there. So he's now there, and then Kanayo tells him to listen to the previous boys that were there before him. Nonso particularly tells him to listen to everything Nonso tells him, and then now tells him, I have 3 rules. Number 1 rule, he says, he said, treat my customers well. That was the first rule. That the customers are the strength of the business, and for me that was very instructive. He said, treat my customers well.
I don't know if it was just me that noticed. Sorry, they were like, I don't know, very intentional about some certain things they were showing, like in the business.
Yes,
like
yes,
just so that you can know that this is what happens. This is what happens. Like when Hannah is saying certain things, you will know that this place they were particular about this place.
Yes.
There's a reason why this line was there.
Yes, and there were lessons.
Yeah.
Too. There were lessons too. So, like for example, the apricot part, which I'll still come to. So, but the second rule was don't steal my money, and then the third rule was stay away from women. And this is like the typical. This is just the handbook they give you once you just come. They just tell you these 3 things: don't touch my money, don't do this one, don't do this one. So I think from there now, then Afam, I think in that short time, you know how someone is coming here and then they want to just like Jones with you and all that. They start calling him Johnny. So Afam will not be like Afam borrow Johnny. Afam.
I particularly like the way he said it.
He was like that, but then they'll be like, what's that one, Johnny? Beba. So and at the time he was humble, and he actually did remain humble.
Yeah.
He did remain humble. So we find Afam. Polo comes to take Afam around, to take him around the market, and then that's where we now see Polo being introduced in the movie. Yes, Polo is being introduced. I think before Polo was even introduced, Shey Odogu's daughter was introduced.
Yes. Odogu's daughter was introduced.
Then all of them were now drooling over her.
That seems very unnecessary, but okay.
I think is it the drooling?
The drooling was unnecessary. Okay, let me say that.
But the thing is,
drooling,
that thing actually happens in Igbo, all this thing. And then
I think they're just laying emphasis on it at that point in time because they were not going to lay emphasis on it again.
Like they wanted to build up to something.
Okay.
I think it was relevant.
Maybe sure. I think one of the rules that Odogu forgot to say
is my daughter.
Don't touch it. Don't say it from my daughter.
True.
I did not mention the rule. That was not a mistake.
Like, how did you even make that mistake? Because your daughter is center of attraction.
The egg. So
my daughter is a woman, to be fair.
Yes.
So stay away from women.
Okay, yeah, actually.
Man, tell you there are some chicks that were very particular about their daughters. They'll tell you, women are my daughters. Stay away from my daughters. So then I think Polo is now introduced, and then Polo is that guy that he's charismatic.
Polo was charismatic.
He's
lovable.
Exactly.
People like him.
He had this. He reminded me of this. Like if you go to like Ladipo now or Apapa or around that Mushi side, all those places where you see Igbo men having shops and their boys around. You experience something like that where someone is walking up to you and is like, "How far customer? How far now? We get this one.
Likable guy. You want to buy stuff from them because of the guy."
He was so likable. I think something that stood out for me was when they were trying to sell markets to one woman, and then the guy just entered to one Yoruba woman, and the guy just entered. It was not like customer me gave her
cool
cheer,
tension,
cool the whole tension in that place, and then he made her to buy the thing. And then he wasn't teasing about her pregnancy. That hope that the baby she's carrying is a fine baby. All that. He was like, hope she's as fine as the baby is as fine as she is.
Okay.
So like double shots.
And that's what he did for like when he was taking Afam around the market. That's what he was
doing for everybody.
When he got to those Abiru, those guys, because if you are in Lagos, you will surely have encounters like with those kind of people, and then the way he just hail them, still insulted them, but they couldn't tell.
Those kind of people, they're always very smart.
He raised his hand to shake the Oga. He raised his hand to shake him, and then he just he swiped the hand, and then he was not like, you won't collect with the Oga they collect. I was like, how did that guy not get angry? And then, in the long run, I think Afam will be picking up all those things. But something that stood out for me is the fact that Afam did not lose his values. He did not lose, because he will have a dream where his father came to him and was talking to him about having a good name. That a good name is better than. It's not about how you make. Sorry, excuse me. It's not about the making the money, but the how, and a good name is very important. So. That thing.
Sorry, can I ask you that? Is that? I mean, I learned that Áfàméfùnà means my name will be remembered.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do?
It will not get lost.
My name will not get lost.
Yes. It will not get lost. It will not lose value.
My name. So that means that's very related to the dream he had.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, that's very thematic.
I believe so. I believe so. I think whoever wrote that
it was very intentional.
Yeah.
It was very intentional. So I think the next thing now, they just give us the background of Afam being in the getting to Oga's house. Afam, they called Afam last born, which I remembered so well. This things will happen amongst my father's boys that time. They say her last born carry the plates. Once a new boy comes to the house, you start walking. Once a new boy
everybody becomes senior student.
Everybody becomes senior student. He's the one that packs the plates. And I I was like, no, this is exactly what happens. Then I think the next thing was, so in the shop, Afam, of course, Afam had already picked the business sense he needed from Paul.
From
Like he was
Paul.
learning from Paul. But the something that stood out about Afam is that Afam was honest. Afam was loyal. He had integrity, and for me, that spoke well of the Igbo man. Are you getting?
Okay.
The pride, the dignity, the integrity, the hard work. Do you understand? Because there was a time when he was trying to sell markets
At a higher price than
yes, outside. He was selling
Okay.
outside.
Yeah.
He was trying to get customers outside.
Yeah.
And at, just like what they call this Osofia. When you go to the market, there are people that don't own the shop.
Okay.
But
that
they will-
intermediate.
Yes, they will go and look for like affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So, but
That start today.
we didn't.
Come on.
Like you can see it in parks, you can see it in so many places. So, but he was playing that role outside the shop. They were trying to get customers to come and buy their building materials, and he now met one woman that said that I didn't know people that sold 1 square. No, he was saying that 1 square meter is 3,000 naira.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I said, that's 60 by 60. He said yes. And I said, but that short yellow boy sold it at 7,000 naira.
Yeah, I remember. the
She was
price.
not like he was not like so he now went and reported,
Okay.
and the short yellow boy was Obum actually.
Yeah.
So when I reported Obum, and Obum was like that it was serious. But I noticed something that Odogu did. Odogu, like he was shocked. But something he did, he took Afam aside and sat him and then started teaching him about what they call apricot.
Okay, what's
Are
that?
you getting? So
When I heard it, I was like, what's that?
apricot.
Sounds like avocado pear.
Look how this
Sounds like
is
apricot.
are supposed to be
Sounds
courses.
like apricot doctor.
Like this is supposed to be courses in what do you call it? In this IAS, that's this Igbo apprenticeship system.
Okay.
Like apricot is a situation where let's say you are selling goods, or you are selling on behalf of your oga. Then you now put small money on top.
Okay.
The original money. Let's say, for example, this phone is 5,000 naira, and then you now tell the customer, oh, this phone is 6,000.
6.5.
I get it, maybe 6.5. But when you now go and add, like when you add 100%,
You got it 4K. You got it 4K on top. I was like, come on.
you added 4K, which is like that's more expensive than the original price.
Original
Like
price,
it's more than double of the original
Yeah.
price. So that's what the Odogu now said. Odogu told Áfàméfùnà that apricot is not bad. Apricot is part of business.
Yeah.
Are you getting?
Yeah.
But the thing is that the one that Obong did, he was greedy about it. Are you getting? That's what Odogu
Because I
said.
observed Afam started to do his own apricot.
Yes,
But he was bringing enough profits to the man.
for the master.
And these guys were envious. of him.
Exactly. I wasn't going to come to that because there was this particular scene where where he remitted some money to Polu. And then Polu was like,
How much?
This money, how much? He first counted it, he was like, this money is more than what you should have delivered. He now said, the belly Oga, that's keep it for Oga. So the moment he said it, then Obum was standing right beside him.
Yeah.
I was like, you are making all of us look like bad people.
Bad people. Okay.
You're making all of us look bad. You're making because Obum, it's not like Obum was not doing. It's not like Afam was not doing his own apricot because it's part of the business. I guess it's part of your training also. But the thing is that he was doing it and still had the interest of his master's
That
business.
loyalty is very important.
Loyalty. So that thing just spelled out the fact that this guy is so loyal. Are you getting it? And I think the next thing was
After he was an
I think another thing they pointed out apart from that his loyalty was his ability to spot. For his ability to spot like doom, Doom.
Yes,
And
the Danladi brothers.
Yeah, from the Danladi brothers scene. I think I don't think he spotted it. It was the Igbo man's ability to spot it.
It was the master
Instinctive,
actually.
Yeah,
It
the
was
master that
Odogu.
spotted it.
They-
So, yeah.
I even copied his adage from it. There was something. There's a way he said it. He said that when you get married to a monkey, or when you marry a monkey because of his money, he says the money will finish, the monkey will remain. Hey, deep.
That's deep.
Very
You cannot claim that is not deep.
That is deep.
What does that even mean?
It's, like when he said it,
What does that even mean?
because it was actually Polo that was like, why didn't you take the deal?
deal. Yeah.
And interestingly, the Danladi brothers will be the death of Polo.
Yes, and I think that was where, because that will be the next phase of the movie where they introduce the tension between Polo and where that tension becomes important.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Where
so
Polo was blackmailing Afam for money to now pay the Danladi brothers.
because
And
he took the deal.
Exactly. Something he would have listened to his boss
master,
and
yes.
avoided. Are you getting it? So the thing is, those Danladi brothers, they were money launderers, and that just doing business with them was what Odogu avoided. Odogu knew. There's something he said. He
It's not
said
like he instinctively knew that they were.
he just
the
knew.
business was.
Like he just heard, how they were trying to make it not look like fraud, but it was fraud. So they wanted to use his business to launder money.
Oh wow!
Are you getting? That's when you put the story together. That's at the Polo's the interrogation, Polo's experience, and because they didn't exactly tell us what the
I love
were
that they
doing.
didn't tell us.
Yes,
They
didn't
just
tell us.
showed us.
They just showed us. Then in the end, we now found out that these guys are laundering money, and Polo got his hands dirty by doing business with them.
Doing business with them.
So that would mean that what they wanted to do with Odogu's business was to launder money. And he could have profited from it. He could have actually profited from it. So there's that thing of the dignity and the integrity of the hardworking Igbo man. Do you get that? I will work and I will get my money with time and all that.
That was really lovely. Like when I looked at, I think I watched that scene twice because I wanted to understand it. I was like, why did this man not take the offer? Although the guys that the cinematics of the movie made us know that something ominous was going on. Like that something fishy, and they showed Áfàméfùnà just observing. I really like that it's something he paid attention to.
And he was paying attention, very important.
So they onto the next phase of the movie, like where the tension comes, because all this is
the man's daughter comes in.
That was another cause. I also like how they brought, he was doing press up when he went to go and catch generation.
Oh my god,
powerhouse, and then he now started doing press up.
Yes, that was so funny. Okay, that.
I think it was still that press up they used to show his
when he grew up.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what I love is how he did press up at that particular place till he grew up.
He now became star.
He became star.
So, but what do you call it? I just love the way he just represented the Igbo man. And then there was something I wanted to note in that movie. I took note of. When Odogu was talking about the apricot, talking about teaching Afam about apricot. He told the story of what happened after the war. That after the war, they are if you had 1 million naira, if you had $1 million, no matter the amount of money you had, what they gave you after the war was 20 pounds. 20 pounds. So the Igbo man had to start building with 20 pounds. Are you getting? So what they would do is, there's all of them that took the 20 pounds and then they just started building from scratch. And the Igbo man would have to help the other Igbo man. Do you get? We have to go to the village, bring apprentices from the village, train those apprentices. Then when you train those apprentices, when they do well, they'll get what they call settlement. Are you getting? And that settlement is your boss will give you a shop. There are some men actually just settle with huge amount of money, capital to start your own business. But what he said there was, he will give you a shop, give you some money, then give you access to his own shop for you to now, like, you come to his shop and be collecting goods to sell to your customers. Then you still bring money, and then like that. So
that's such a good structure. Like,
exactly,
I don't see any loophole in that structure.
That's like mentorship. It is mentorship actually. So I love the beauty of the
more like discipleship.
And then, did you notice what he said? He said that, now this is, of course, I'm not a tribalistic anybody or something, but the thing is, that mentality about the Igbo man, I believe it to be true, because I believe that the Igbo people, of course, I'm not in every other what's the word now? Igbo, I'm not from every other culture and every tribe, but I can say this one, that you can see these people, trying to do something like when you get to Mushin, you see Igbos. When you get to Alaba, you see Igbos. When you get to Apapa, you see Igbos. What are they doing? It's like they're trying to rebuild the Igbo business empire. I love the name that Odogu gave it. He says he called it the Igbo business empire. He said that when an Igbo man goes to a place and there's that Igbo man will use his inner eye to spot, to look at that place, how you get it?
To know if it's fertile.
To know if it's fertile, like if something can come out. That if you go to a place and you don't see an Igbo man there's a problem.
There's a problem.
There's a problem. Because an Igbo man can even get to a place and that place could be dirty and in ruins, and he stays there because he sees potential in that place. So, the fact that he said that about the Igbo man, and then he said two things are the core values of the Igbo business empire. Number one is hard work. And I think the second one was I can't remember, but I know that number one is hard work. Was it diligence or what?
The way you treated this thing like a full lecture. That movie is lecture material.
For Harvard to give a review on it, Harvard.
They give a review on it.
Yes, now.
Oh boy.
When the movie started, you will see a write-up there, and then what they said in that write-up was they called it, that's where you see the IAS, the Igbo apprenticeship system. So they gave it their review. I don't know if I wrote it, I took note of that, but let me see if I did. But they gave a very good review of that, and they said What's not this?
The proper research. Me, I didn't even know what they said.
No, I didn't check.
I watched the movie. I don't know that they said something.
Look at what they said.
God.
They said that the Igbo apprenticeship system is the largest business incubator in the world.
Okay. It was them that gave that review.
Yes.
Incubator was like these accelerator programs, like that, like Y Combinator,
Exactly.
and where startups go incubate after a period of months. They give them remission,
and they grow from there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it means that the Igbo business system, that system should be studied properly.
I believe so.
It should be studied properly.
But sir, have you heard of this? I heard of this type of thing in like Middle East that time, like before medieval times and stuff. Do you think, and with all these talks about about Igbos being Jews in diaspora, have you heard that talk before? I think. Do you think it would have come from there?
From the Hebrews.
Yes. Funny question, but like it got me thinking, because this apprenticeship style is something that is heavily practiced in like Asia, like the whole, and it's for a different reason, right? I think with the context I was given with like Biafra, that's for a different reason. But the Easterners, they wanted to multiply their labor. They want to multiply their labor, so they'll have to train apprentices, and they will have to train them for like 5 to 7 years. So that if they want to send somebody to go and do something, and it's far away, they'll be able to send people to go and do it in that place and bring in profits. That's just different reason, but it just got me to thinking anyway. But you were saying,
well, I'm concerning that. I honestly do not know much about that, because I used to, when they tell me that Igbos are from Hebrews, I just used to say that we are sure Nigerians. Let's be content with some things as we have.
fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Where were we? The conflict. You've gotten an idea. This is what I say.
So the conflict, is it the conflict between Paul and
the conflict between Paul and Afam, which was like central to the conflict of the entire movie.
Okay.
But why are we not talking about what's her name? Yes, is it Amaka?
Yes.
Amaka.
That was
another highlight, like in the movie.
Amaka, that's the man's daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just say this, just so that you know that I prepared. Amaka was played by. You're laughing at me.
They're laughing for you. Atlanta.
Atlanta was played by. Amaka was played by Atlanta Bridget Johnson.
Oh
Clap for me.
if you
It's
know,
not easy, my brother.
if you know the preps.
The research was not a small one, guys.
This movie
when I'm
is
coming
really
on
dear.
when I'm coming on NTD, I don't blue. I heard from you.
Yeah, but I mean, Amaka is part of the conflict, so I think it's. I think some things were part of the were focal to that conflict. Amaka was one of them.
Amaka
The
was not
fact that
a-
this guy, what?
Okay, she was.
I think she was
so-
focal to the conflict.
Yeah.
Yes.
The fact that Afam was rewarded before Polo,
That was
The-
like major.
Yes.
that was part of it.
Let me sorry to cut you,
Yeah.
but that time, you know, whoever wrote this story
Yeah,
is good. Look at what happened. So that day, Paulo came into the shop, and then someone was
He
trying to
saved the
buy.
day.
He saved the day actually. Someone was trying to buy goods with fake money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I now noted that actually, that they showed us that as an Igbo apprentice, you shine your eye. Igawalaya. That's how you shine your eye. So
Igawala.
so like he said the day, and when the boss came, when Odogu came in, he prayed for Paulo. That's
Yeah.
Alex Ekubo. He prayed for Paulo. So he now asked for them to go and get kola nut and drink.
Which is a sign.
Yes.
Just there,
Once you get kola
yeah,
nut, it's time to be blessed and be settled. So, but they were celebrating
Paulo.
Paulo's settlement.
And see how Afam was happy for him.
You
Like,
get-
I think they carried him on.
Yeah, they carried him.
Papa
Yeah.
was so happy for him, only for them to get to that place, and then they
That
saw.
was like,
Like,
Afam
it
was
touched me.
on.
Did he touch me?
no, you're not alone.
I said, hey.
Can we call that a plot twist?
Plot twist.
Because when he got there, he first saw his aunts, he now saw his uncles. What are they
I
doing
was
there?
wondering what they're doing.
They now told him to collect the thing to collect the wine
From
from
Paulo.
Paulo. Paulo refused to
Jesus.
release. That moment.
My God.
Hey.
My God. But you know, actually, Paulo had two options. Either to be happy with him and then just be patient. Because it wouldn't
Yeah.
have taken long for them to have settled him. Either to be happy with him or to resent him. And
The way
then he
he
chose
did.
this. The
Yeah,
way he
and,
did.
and I think at that point he wasn't blaming. He was telling Afam that he knew. I mean, like, come on, this is Afam that you have always known. And to think that at that point he was even rejoicing and celebrating it. There's no way he would have known and just decided to. But I don't know.
Well, in
man.
my opinion, you see, it is here that time reveals the true character of a person.
Yes.
Like, because what happens is the nature of Paulo that came out as a result of that. Like, if you extrapolate what Afam would have done if that happened to him, we will see that he would have chosen a different alternative.
Yeah.
Right? So it just goes to show, because in fact, the way the build up, the character build up of Paulo, I knew that if something like that happened, if something happened where he was being challenged. By the way, I had mentioned two focal points of the conflict.
Yeah.
The third really was that inherently, what's it called? Paulo was always jealous of Afam. Now, how do we know that? Like the character development, somebody gave a very actionable definition of envy and jealousy that I really love. The person said, envy is when you want what somebody has. Jealousy is when you're afraid that somebody's going to take what you have. Now, the two of them are rooted in like practically the same thing, but like that's very actionable definition. Paulo was always the top dog before Afam came.
Yes.
And to be honest, he taught him everything he knew, taught Afam everything he knew. But it was obvious that he was threatened. He was always threatened by first of all, was threatened by how the guy's behavior. Like he was always threatened, and so it came to a point where he felt like Afam would eventually outshine him, and that's why what he called the problem was that Afam took everything that he had. That's what I feel the focus of all the conflicts is he being jealous of Afam, and it reveals a lot about his person. And like that's my opinion. I say that it's something that was always brewing. If you look at it, it wasn't something that happened instantaneously. So you're about to finish that part of the narration. So the part where they make the guy, they settle him.
Okay.
Then Paulo gets involved with those guys.
I think that's where this is where Amaka's story will now come
in
Yeah.
proper.
because Paulo has been stealing from his Olga. I honestly don't even understand how Paulo thought he would be settled first. Because something I found out, all these masters,
They always
looking.
know.
they used to pay attention.
Yeah.
They used to watch. But sometimes they do as if they don't know. They are not paying attention. They used to pay attention. So that's what they call it. After the whole settlement, something now. Afam goes to go and talk to
Builds up,
Polu, like,
okay.
what's going on? Polu now told him, he told him not to touch him. That he's no more his brother and all that, you know. So he chose the way of hatred
And
and resentment. Yes. Then, I think that day, Afam was leaving the house. I don't know if it's that day, but Afam was about leaving the Odogu's compound.
Yeah.
And he now saw Amaka crying somewhere.
Yeah.
So is it like a garden or somewhere?
Amaka, yeah.
So she was crying, and then you know the thing, the truth of the matter is that Afam has always had an eye for Amaka.
Yeah. Beningin from the
From the
Beningin.
Belengin. But one could have said that this is a chance for this guy to shoot his shot.
Yeah.
I respected him
I
when
respect
he
him.
just consoled her and left.
Like he did not say.
He didn't. He said, "This is not my time."
He did.
She be have said that's not the right choice
I
for
don't
you.
know. I don't know. For some reason, the respect I had for him, it dug deep to the respect I had for Stanley. I started feeling like Stanley is this type of person.
Yes. I think after that Áfàméfùnà,
Yeah.
I loved Stanley
more.
more. Actually.
I think we talked about this, loving the arts or the artist.
But
Yeah.
you know the thing that happened there was that Polo had before then Polo has been stealing from using her to steal from Odugu and using her to get money from Odugu. But this time around, 1 billion naira. Oh my god.
The girl couldn't.
She like the thing is he told her to borrow him the money and then he took it and then he disappeared.
Yeah.
So the father found out and then had to send her to a private university. You know, I think in the UK or somewhere. But sent was it Enugu or UK? I can't
It should
remember.
be around though. Was a private university around?
Around, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had to send her to a private university and then Afam just consoled her and told her that everything will be well. That was it. Then the next thing now, they now saw themselves in
a supermarket.
in a supermarket,
restaurant.
yes.
Was it restaurant or boutique? The boutique incident happened before the restaurant incident.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a boutique actually.
Yeah, it was a
Okay,
boutique.
okay.
So there was
Okay.
so it was a boutique and then he saw her and then he was happy to see her. I was like that you've not did that you have not gotten married because there was no ring on her finger, you know. And then the polo now came out.
Came out. And
I
he
came
tried
out.
to express
Yeah, that he's the
ownership.
man. Yes. Like he owns the property here. He just came out and then he
Exhibit
carried his
ownership.
shoulders,
I think
showing
what
his
do
chest
you
and
Never
all that.
changed.
And then
They
like
chose
the
the
way he
right
just
guy
came,
for that bro.
Really?
I was actually irritated by police attitude at that moment.
Yeah.
And then personally I felt because in the restaurant there was something that Afam asked her because you know they would later meet up in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So he asked her, he said that I thought Polo, after everything he did to you, how
Why
did he
did
get
you?
back
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah.
And I said I just answered it for him. The girl is just foolish, my brother.
Okay, I was about to answer a separate question. Thank you so much for giving the answer without me having to.
The girl said that when he came for her graduation, and there's a way. I thought she would say something good. She now said there was a way she looked at me. She said, "Does this look in his eyes?"
Oh my god.
And then I realized that I was near over him. I said, "No, you're not yet over him."
I'm afraid.
You know, there was something that
I'm afraid.
I'll mention her name because she's Amuch. I wonder how we've never had her on this podcast. There's something Kechi said. Kechi, I'm sorry. But she was of the opinion that Afam too was in Mumu love because according to her, it was obvious that even at that point, like in her opinion, right, at that
You would have shot his shot earlier.
no.
Okay.
You know
I hear you
that's
say that, I
you know
don't
that's
even
part
buy.
of the where at the when Afam when Polo died that they came to interrogate her in the house and she was still crying and all of that. And Kitty was of the feeling that if she still had a chance with this Polo,
That it feels like
that
he
she would have still gone back to him.
And that makes me.
And she was
want
like,
to ask
and
the
she was like,
question.
she was like
Of
that,
Finish Georgia.
like I mean, like that scene where she literally just left
The
Polo's
police,
bed and went
directly to
directly
Afam.
to Afam. She was just like that. Come on, like what's going on? That Afam could that in her to her like she felt like Afam could clearly see that
Yes,
she was still not over him, but
Entanglement.
he was just trying to just overlook it and what I said was I was like, he really liked her. That was one, and he was not I don't know how to put it though,
Was
but
very decisive.
I was on his side because like he liked her, and then he was willing to. I think he was just willing to overlook,
that length.
yeah, and to,
Yes.
just because he liked her, and then the whole thing with the pregnancy, where
I mean,
God.
here comes my question. Like, my question is very hypothetical. And Doja, I think you'll be a very good participant in answering this question. And the question is really that are women generally like undecisive in that manner? Because like I'm saying this because there's a lot of that's why I said it's hypothetical. There's a lot of when I read online, when I hear how women, this why men love their primary propellant for loving, their drive is different from how women love and why. And that's why it doesn't even make sense for people to say that he would have shot at her earlier. Like there's a time when he came out and saw her reading when we were young.
yeah,
And people say many things like that he would have. I read some comments that he would have shot since boom boom boom. Doesn't even make sense because why men like go for women is very different from why women go for men. You get so, but I've observed a trend that undecidedness, which is something that you have to deal with, and women often say it. Sometimes some women, wear it as a badge of honor and say they want the men to make the decision. Of course, they want the men to go. They want the men to prove. They want the men to, if he really loves me, boom, 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 and all of that. And they have this tendency to have like unsettled. Now, I'm saying this because like it's a poll of opinions. And I think if a batch of people on social media say it and you also observe people in real life behave that way, then you can have a hypothesis about it. So like apart from like cultured women, which also cultured, like being cultured, I mean like you have strong values, you have a maybe like now Doja is a Christian, right? She has a very strong culture, right? Of okay, that decision and all that. It's even still possible that the woman in her still has like the undecided nature. So I want you to answer like, what do you think? Is that an observation you have, and do you think that's a thing with women in general? Like you get being undecided or being indecisive about who to go with just because of fear of instability or being fear of you get or sentiment. You get that's the question I really have.
I don't know. I'm not going to be speaking from a place of experience. It's being
Of course.
observation.
Observation and like nature, like you're a woman.
I don't know. I feel like, right, as much as we feel like women are always the ones talking about it, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen to men. That's
Okay.
one. And then two, I feel like also that people know what they want. They might now. The thing is that, in my opinion, the decision is always clear what you want. Now, other things,
Like eat your cake and have it type thing.
yeah, that, and then they might be okay. Since I'm getting this and this on this side, let me now choose. Let's say, oh God, how will I put this now? Let me use Amaka for instance now. Let's say, okay, Polo is on this side, the person she actually likes. And then there's Afam. Afam now is going to be the one that can raise her children for her, can do this, can
make her live the life she wants of interest type of thing.
Exactly, there can be that. But I feel like everybody always knows exactly who it is that they want. Maybe, I don't know, maybe other people may have another opinion, but then that's just what I think.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think like what she said that I think people always know what they want and or end up figuring out what they want because if we are talking from the context of Amaka, Polo himself, this is what I would say. I would say that Polo was using Amaka.
Yeah.
Do you get? So there was a lot of brainwashing, and then she too now being the
naive princess.
The naive princess. I think that's the right one. Being naive princess
of
was being brainwashed and all that. So I think
besides we said something about Polo's character, the way he was. So he like obviously had used that on her.
Polo, yes. The thing is, Polo on his own is charming. His character
that makes sense.
Charming. So he has his way with words. He gets into people and all those things. So, but I also think that the girl should have been smart enough to know on time. Like he collected 100K collect on
Collect
it.
USD
Collect-
giving.
giving.
USD giving.
Collect 1 million.
Hi God.
Okay.
Idiot, classic of idiots in love.
Idiot.
I see.
Collect 1 million. You cry. Afam was there consoling you.
Mm-hmm.
You collect. Let me tell you the truth. I respect Afam for what he did that day.
Yeah.
But after I saw what Polo, that she still got back with Polo, I wished.
That you didn't start by
I
her.
wish that he just took it. Like, if you wanted this person, just
Yeah,
take
that's
your
what you
shot.
said. Yeah, at that point in time.
Now, just take your shot now. But then, she said that thing was still very strange. It's still very interesting to me. Said that the way
The way he looked at me.
I'm still like, I wish I could enter into the screen.
I think
Into the screen and say, sister, you've not answered the question. Sister,
Excuse me, ma. You didn't answer.
you've not answered the question. After all, and all is that he stole the 1 million and ran away. After all he had done to you, you still go back with him. And you say he looked at you. That's not an answer, man. Tell us.
And interestingly, I think that the entire okay. Oh, he wasn't collecting money from him until she came to Afam.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think it was-
Polo wasn't collecting money from Afam.
Yes.
It was till they had gotten married,
Yeah.
and then
And they had
that
the child.
They
child,
had that
yeah,
child.
they had that
But
child.
he found out. He used it as leverage.
As it like to blackmail him.
Yeah.
And this is what I thought Afam would have done. But when I think about it, when I give it a second thought, I know it's not easy. It's easier said than done.
Yes.
Yeah, so hold on. For context here, what happened? Amaka had a child for Polu that she
Yes.
did not know was Polu's child
Yes.
in Afam.
Which is even something we'll talk about. Like,
No, let's just leave.
this
Let's
guy.
emphasis on she did not know it was Polu.
we is Mumu. We that is watching it.
With the absence,
We the absence.
but she did not know. She did not know.
Oh my god.
That hurt me. Like, it hurt me so bad. Because
Oh my God.
it changed it, and like you said earlier, you were going to talk about it, about how he treated her, like how he stood by her, which is something that, I mean, of course, it took him having that amount of money. And I want to slide this in and say that just the way Paulu's selling point was his charm and his mouth. It felt like Afam's charm was his hard work, his integrity. That was the thing that actually sold him. Now, of course, both of them were fine boys and all of that. I think it's the thing that sold. Yeah, it's the thing that sold him to her when he now made his point clear. He said, "I want you."
Yes.
That's what he said. Like, he said it very, and the decisiveness of it, because that encounter they had at the restaurant is what motivated her enough to leave the guy's bed, leave Polo's bed, and go back to Afam. Because he realized that what am I doing with this guy?
He's not even paying attention to me.
I mean, when I can have this other guy. So that
I was pained at the way she allowed Polo use. I was actually pained because the thing is, you can see that this person does not want any other thing from you apart from to use you to get money, to satisfy himself and all that. Like, it was obvious. So he just had, like, he had to take for it to happen again. For her to not know, for her to just know that this person does not care about me.
if she wasn't saved by her fam, I think she would have been caught up in the whole Dan Laden brothers thing.
Actually, I think so too.
And the reality of life is that it's like somebody gave an analogy of this type of toxic love situations. It's like being if there's a boiling pot and then you put a frog inside, the frog will immediately jump out. But if you put cold water and then you put the frog inside and then you boil the water slowly,
Yes.
slowly, the frog will just be lazy to jump out until he dies. So I think it's that type of situation. So we should not be very judgmental when we are watching. It's even possible that we're expressing certain types of those situations in like
in our own lives. We will. Yeah.
you just said yeah.
Yeah.
Why the remote?
But the thing is, at the point where Polo was already biting much more than he could chew. Because okay, let's say you are insisting that I took something from you. Like, I don't even know why Afam just allowed him to keep blackmailing him, because already, Polo was saying you took everything from me. But obviously the boss only settled him with 6 million naira and a shop. Are you getting? And everything Afam had, Afam built from
Wow.
of
Yeah,
course, yes,
exactly.
built. So that thing of every month you are paying him 5 million.
Isn't it? I Jesus,
Every
I was
month.
paying though.
Me, I was calculating the money. If someone was paying me
That guy
5 million,
must be rich to be paying somebody 5 million.
like it must be very rich. Now I even left the two characters when they were in the
I
office.
started calculating money.
I started looking at
You
the
guys,
office.
you are hearing
The size of the table. I was like, no. What kind of money?
But
is
the
this?
house they were in front of,
Oh, that was a very good.
that was luxury.
That was a very. And then the child now came out and said, what was that thing he said then? Alex Ekubo, that's Paulo, said something to the child. The child said, what is that? What is this saying?
Aye.
Hey, whoa.
That's say you never even teach him our native
Our
language.
native language, not even our what's it called?
He didn't teach me, and the thing was, I was just not happy that the woman, the lady, could have easily spotted that this is Polo's child. If at all she had that nice, if Polo himself could spot the resemblance, it means she too should have been able to spot
Come
the
on, you just
resemblance.
want to give birth to the boy.
And even before, like the pregnancy, like
Yes,
from pregnancy state. And by the
You
way,
know-
what
they
was she
know-
supposed to do if she
You
found
know,
out?
they did not tell us a lot of things in this movie, right? For me, I just feel like that girl knew.
I know that she knew. I know that she
I
And she
knew.
mean,
knew.
come on now.
Yeah.
But in the
She
end,
just wanted.
But in the end, doesn't mean she was lying that she did not know.
I think she knew. But it's just one of those. You choose the most comfortable part, the part of this.
And choose to ignore the truth.
Yes.
Like not to.
Yes, that's. I mean, if she was foolish enough, he was gullible enough to be used by. I think she knew. She knew. She definitely knew. And, but I really appreciate Afam for standing by her. Or it sounded like the type of thing that I would want to do.
Yes.
Right. However, I was pained by it. I would not lie. It's the type of thing I want to do, but I was pained by it. I was very pained. I was so pained. And I thought this is the way the interview was going, because by the way, you guys, all of these details
His interview
is an interrogation session, between Afam
and the
Yes,
yeah.
and the what's it,
SP Gidoku.
Gidoku, yeah, the police guy, Shegun
Shegun
Arinze.
Arinze.
I love his role. He played.
The way he just switched.
Hi God.
Switched.
That was
And then
his best.
Afam was like, that's so you used to speak
In a
Yeah,
Sumo.
see, boy.
I was like, even me too, I was like,
But that was
And the way-
sweet. He
even
needed-
when he went to make that call,
yeah,
switch back to us.
back to us.
Came back, switch to Igbo. I was like, oh no.
That's impressive. They wanted to pull an
Oh,
FBI
no.
type thing on us.
Yeah.
And his intonation was clean.
Yeah.
Everything was clean.
It was clean. It
That's
was
the
clean.
power people.
So I was saying that all of this, you guys, is what's it called? It was an interrogation, and the way the interrogation was going, I started to suspect Afam for killing his friend out of envy.
Yeah.
I like that they played with us that much. The guys that did the movie, they played with us that much. But I mean, since we've spilled a lot of the beans, I think what eventually happens is, Paulo gets into trouble.
No, I think Afam stops paying the money. Says he will not pay the money again.
Yes.
Right.
Afam calls the Danladi brother and says
Yeah.
she's no more involved.
What was he did? There's something he did that made Afam to do that.
Yes. So that was the day when Paulo came to his house,
Okay.
and then they demanded for another money.
I think he increased
for
the money.
party.
I think
Yes, he wanted to just throw
Yeah.
the party.
Why is it by the?
Yeah. And it was like that. All the big people
okay, we'll
are
be coming around.
for the party.
Mm.
Are you getting? So he just wanted to. So it was not like when he was even saying it. Me, I was like, I don't
I was
understand.
like, I don't get you, bro.
Stop
I'm begging.
somebody.
Yeah, make I get checked.
Like this entitlement is deadly. Like it's.
See, how can you give me? No, because Afam was like, he didn't have money at the moment.
But he said,
Said,
I'll give you.
Can you go for Aka? He now said, Ufaka, that's 1 million naira. So what will I use
1 million naira to do. Hey,
Yeah. You know, right now,
what are we using 1 million naira
I
to
was
do?
like, 1 million naira, please. I was calculating what I would use 1 million naira to do.
I also like that the values were very practicable. The values they used for the movie were very reasonable values.
But I think it was just that what triggered that thing was after that step, that decision that Afam made. I think he should have made it from the
In the beginning,
from the
abi?
Yeah.
I think you should have made that, because I was like, why did you wait? You knew you would still do this, but you
And
still
you
made the
still keep on asking for
decision. You would have
more
just
money.
made that
I think it
decision.
was really a stroke that broke the camel's back type.
A
thing.
stroke of many 5 million naira.
Plenty strokes.
Afam was a good
Oh
guy.
my
now.
God.
Let's be fair.
Many
Like,
5
the
million
guy was a good
naira.
guy.
Yes.
And also, to be honest, you can see the good heart. You
He
can
would
see
have the love.
yes,
Yeah.
of everything.
His
So
brother.
consider the guy. Consider the
He
guy
called
his
him and
brother.
said, Polo one name. Polo was like, me and you are not brothers, and you're not my brother. I was like,
Why you not asking?
Why are you not asking for money?
like,
He was taxing him, but the guy was still considering him a brother
The-
to show you the good heart. And I mean, that was really loyalty. That was loyalty. He spoke a lot of the guy's character.
yes. But the moment he said Danladi Brothers is not paying again, so someone can say, oh, indirectly he
Well, he
killed
killed him.
him.
Yeah.
But actually, it was not his duty to be paying them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get it. So he must have withdrawn and said, okay, he's not paying again. And maybe behind the scenes, somewhere, they've called him and said, pay up, or this is your last chance. But then the next thing we are saying, our guy is jogging on the 3rd Milan Bridge, or wherever that bridge is, where he was jogging, and then 2 gunmen now come, and then they just gun him down, and then he's dead.
OT lawyer.
OT.
OT lawyer.
That was the end of.
Interestingly, that was the beginning.
Yes, that was
You
what. That was the
remember?
beginning,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, like, and I like the way they
Only-
introduced us.
Yes,
They
they
just
now
showed people
went-
playing football.
Yes.
Because I was wondering what those guys saw
Yes.
when they were playing the football, and they saw
The
him
thing,
there.
they actually brought the movie like to a full circle. That
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Then at some point, I was actually suspecting the wife. That is the wife. Now
That
you kill her.
okay.
Now you kill her. now you kill
Maybe she
her.
was trying to help her.
Help her
husband.
husband.
And she just wanted to get
That's
rid
what I
of.
was thinking.
See, try to help her husband. Not try to get rid of the father of her child, so
And-
that nobody will find out.
And the
That
stress and the whole blackmailing
It's not even
stuff.
how she was crying. Like, notice how she was crying.
no, the cry was. That cry was very
Very
suspicious.
suspicious. Like that, she
Yes.
went back to him
Why are you weeping like
after having
this?
a child with Afam.
Why are you crying like this, madam?
I didn't like it. I just didn't like it.
But it was almost looking like after they had she and Afam were now together, it was now looking like maybe she went back to him and then continued having an affair.
Yeah, fair without
Yeah.
Afam knowing.
Yeah, there was a part where that it was suggesting
Ah, this
that
guy sold us a lot of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, you just after you want down, you now what from your own
From
movie,
your own,
right?
which
Sure,
is
your
why I think it's a
conclusions.
good place to talk about like how what like your favorite scene and why you think like what about the movie you think made it like very spectacular and what you don't think was good enough. Let's start with your favorite scene. What do you think was your favorite scene?
my favorite scene.
Yeah, favorite scene.
What was my favorite scene now?
I know it should involve
Because Afam, anything that Afam was there is my favorite scene. So, but I like I think I like the part of I like the part of when he was being interrogated in the cell.
Yeah.
I like the demeanor. I like the control. I like the
that he had during the
pride,
interrogation.
yes.
Woo! That's something to think about.
Like, it was not a bad kind of pride.
Yeah,
It was this dignity,
confidence, dignity.
this
That's the
confidence.
word about.
Do you get? And the moment SP Doku wanted to intimidate him
Intimidate
and saying
him.
that don't insult me, he stood up. I said, don't
nice.
insult me, don't talk about my wife. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like there was that thing that I was like, God, the lion has come.
Ah,
Conqueror is here.
So I think I love that scene. Then which other scene did I like? I just like
think about that too.
I like
But I didn't think about how much I loved that.
The only thing I
That-
loved,
I
okay, no,
loved
the
it.
only thing I thought about that I loved in that place was that accent switch. Oh,
That sense
Yes.
is okay.
I love the accent
Accent
switch.
switch, okay.
But when you follow the way, because even the first time I watched the movie, of course, if I'm watching it a second time, I already know those parts.
Yeah.
But the first time I watched it, I was also watching his demeanor. I was also watching
Yeah.
his courage.
Yeah.
You know, like the way they just portrayed him and the way he was not flinching in the cell. They offered him, do you want something to eat or drink?
No, like that was one of the reasons that was the reason I could say that. Oh, I know that he was not the one that killed this guy. But then you know, as the movie was not going, I was like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
happening?
careless.
What's
Yes.
happening?
But then there was this Hugh Shaw was not flinching.
Yeah.
You know, and then he kept on when there's how this guy will raise his voice, it will raise his
Raise
voice,
his voice so much.
and you are not into.
That's something I like that I didn't realize I did. Like I loved
Which
it.
other thing do I like in that movie now? Okay, I think I like.
I think I loved what I loved the experience of Odogo. I loved how they portrayed the experience. It was like a fully developed Igbo man, the way I know the Igbo man to be. And so that was Odogo was a story on his own. Like he as a person and all of the dialogue he held, like all of the conversations, was a story about the Igbo man, the way the Igbo apprenticeship and the whole philosophy of it that they told in just very few scenes. Like I loved how they did that. Like I really loved it. I loved that. I think that would be a second favorite. And what do you not like about the movie? What do you
That's
think?
my favorite scene. My favorite scene was
Yeah.
when he
I think
was
it's actually
doing,
sweet, your
doing
favorite.
push-ups. And
Yeah.
You
then-
give me shots and you know, okay, that's
I
what
thought-
it's like.
I thought that was that was my favorite scene too. That was one of my favorite scenes. But I just thought to keep it in my head.
So you don't sound on serious.
Fair enough.
Somebody have said it too. They have cashed me.
Fair enough. He was doing press up. He was doing press up.
was-
from the boy scene
Yeah.
to when he was doing press up.
That was a
And
good
he
place to
looked so
introduce that
fine. I was like,
evolution.
oh my this album is grew up to be so fine. Oh my
By
god.
the way, if you see the real picture of the guy that plays, I think Paul in the
That played
that plays Afam, the young Afam. The guy is a fresh guy.
Yeah.
They really styled him.
They started him
look
to be an
Oh.
Afam.
Afam. When you see him and you say Afam, that's just really.
Wow.
But the guy in real life, the guy is really it's what ladies will call cute. Well, so yeah, what about what you do not like about the movie?
What did I not like about that movie now? Okay, let me play these things in my head again.
I think for one, I did not like the character development of Amaka.
Amaka.
I didn't like the character
Okay,
development.
are
of
we,
Amaka.
are we talking about the just scenes or just
Seems like everything holistically, like what you know, like about the film, the making of the film together, the storytelling, the casting, everything. Like,
Amaka felt like a property.
okay, is it her as a character?
Amaka that's as a character.
Oh yeah.
Looked like she was just there, like something to be fought over her.
Something to move from one place to another.
To be moved from Polo's hand to this guy.
I feel like you know that part where they gave someone was supposed to go and get money from somewhere. I think there was a new boy in the house,
Yeah.
and then she now said, "Give the kid."
Yes, yes.
I feel like if they had given her more, you know how,
from that place, more opening to now
or maybe that thing that she portrayed there as in
living in Afam.
that one, and then the Oga's daughter.
Daughter.
If they had given her more, I don't know, to play
More power
that
to that
place
character.
very
The problem
well.
with that-
It would have been something. This one, she was just there.
there.
Somewhere that the one boys were moving from
then-
one place and another. Like,
I
don't
mean, to
know.
even think that she was entangled with the Nwa boys was even
Exactly.
something. I think the problem of this now starts where, and I think they did a good job actually in introducing the problem because she was a naive princess from the onset. Like, notice where her cousin comes. They were trying to show us what she was like with that her cousin. You remember the cousin comes in and was
It's in the
Nasufune.
Yeah.
just doing what we don't
Now
understand.
asked why is it that you have a lot of boys working for you and you don't have girls?
She's using our feminism. She's using our feminism.
But
Oh my god. Do you ever think that I'm afraid about the whole cultural thing, this is just on the side, cultural erosion. And do you ever think that the Igbo man will embrace that idea? That
Igbo man
equality,
doing
yes, that
well, I think boy is for the Igbo culture. In the Igbo culture, it's for the men. Do you understand? So, but the world has changed, and I can say in corporate settings, women can play.
Yeah.
But there will always be that thing in their minds that it's just the Igbo culture that women don't do boy in the Igbo
Or
culture.
difficult. You know how most Igbo men see their wives.
as properties.
I was not going to say that, but
But as golden,
they don't participate in activities that will
Okay, I will do it for
Stress
you.
them.
yeah,
Yes.
that kind of
I will
thing.
do it for you.
When
Just
you
stay
do-
home, give birth to my children,
Odogo wife.
and cook for me.
I'll take care of you.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Very, very good care.
Take really good care.
Really
very
good
good
care of
care.
you.
No, you don't need to do anything.
You don't need to stress.
Don't stress yourself. Don't stress yourself.
There's
Just-
one I even heard the negotiation say, "Don't worry, I'll allow you to keep your son." I heard that one. I say, yeah.
But the thing is, I think today there are Igbo men now that give so much power to their wives.
Mm.
There are Igbo men that give so much power to their wives, and you can even see it in the way their wives run the dynasty,
Yeah.
like run the whole thing. And you get
I think it was dependent on the personality of the wife,
maybe
and also maybe the man,
and
but
the husband.
primarily
Yes.
because if for example somebody like Amaka, she was already her personality was already like one that can be domineered.
Amaka's
yeah.
own, the way the thing is, I think they just put that character so under, like
Yeah.
so under
I
because
was.
number one, you could even tell that girl was charismatic from the first time she was introduced.
Okay.
And you could tell that she was bold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her father was not taking his drugs, and she was like,
Okay.
Did you get? She was eating bitter cola, and she was
They would
like,
have built on that something.
Papa, that she doctor have said this, said that, said this.
Mm.
She now they
Grow
started
up.
talking about ledger. Like she looked like when she grew up, she was the one that was going to be giving instructions.
Exactly.
Do you get?
That's what I was saying. But they
Then
just
the next thing they just put her in the shadow. Like just made that she just diminished her to one pretty girl. Like that you know, and I didn't like it.
I personally didn't like it too.
She could have been more. Then shut up, I did I not like Lamori.
I think everything was pretty solid. Like for everything else. Yeah, another thing I also didn't like was that there was some spaces. Like so many things that we had to create
figure out. Yes.
create conspiracy theories about. For example, here's one. Dusha just said earlier that did she know? Did she not know? How can you leave somebody dead? Go to
they are
somebody
giving
else?
you this thing now. I'm trying to engage your brain.
Is he Hebrew literature?
Shout out to the director and the producer. Part two.
Thank you.
Kayode Kasum, can you share this?
Now, part two, or come and do.
Come and explain,
The way you recounted from police station and started telling us the whole thing. Come and tell us how because you left a lot of things for us to be thinking about.
Nothing like I was saying before we started. Like, why they carry my Chidekene and SODK and put inside party?
AKA.
I was just like, what?
I just feel like he was on set, so they say, nah.
Maybe
Are you not going
there's
to
another guy
participate
too
in
that I
this
know.
movie?
SODK is not very very prominent like that, but at least the guy is act.
But Jide Kenneth too.
I was just like,
He just acted the Igbo man. I believe
I
that
think
he was
he
one of the
casted
boys
him,
that
yeah.
grew up
Okay.
with Áfàméfùnà.
okay,
Okay.
like in the
Yes.
alright.
But he did not even say a word.
Like I was like, come
He was
on.
just there. So when I saw him and he was just like, this movie is going to be bam. I mean,
Because me, I was checking. I was not
He
checking the
might
cast.
be JK.
Like I was checking the
Yes.
cast
No.
later on. I was just like, this one was there. What was he doing there? Which man did he act?
I also think that they probably did it because they were trying to get a full Igbo set.
yes.
And they needed a big name. Because the thing is, these guys, there's something that there's a word you call it in film economics. There's what a brand like Jide Kennedy is what he does to the movie, appearing in the movie, even though he doesn't speak. So I think they needed that, so the grossing right and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. So before we round up, this is the last conversation we're gonna have about it. Like we have a lot to learn from the movie, have a lot to learn from the movie, a lot about the Igbo apprenticeship system, of course, about relationships, right? Both romantic, brotherly relationships. I mean, what can you say are like some of your lessons? I mean, and even entrepreneurship, you building the shop eating. I think this shop eating is like 2-3 months ago, right? You started. This is like after you watched that film for the first time. Do you think that it's like a cross application of some things that you saw in the movie? I know it's not a full on, Igbo venture and all of that, but I mean it's entrepreneurship if you look at it really. So it's like, what lessons would you like to
From the movie.
deeply share? Deeply share. I say deeply on the line.
Captain
Yeah.
in bold.
Okay. I took note of quite a few lessons from the movie. And I think many of them were from this there was this thing of this the value of the Igbo business empire, hard work, diligence, integrity. That was one lesson I took from the movie. Another lesson I took from the movie was the that thing they used to tell us, a good name is better than silver. We're talking about reputation. Because I believe that Odogu just knew who Afam really was.
Yeah.
He had integrity. He was loyal. He gave his all to, like, he tried to make the whole Oga's business work while still doing his own one boy on the side and all. So I think if there's anything I've learned that you can build from scratch. You can start all over again, and then you can build from scratch. I learned that from the story of the Igbos giving
20 pounds.
20 pounds.
Independent of all the money they had at the bank.
20. If you had 1 million pounds,
Jesus.
20 pounds, and he said they built from scratch. Looking at what the Igbo business empire is today,
become.
What it has become, it looked like nothing even happened. So I usually imagine what could have happened.
Some of the richest guys.
Do you understand?
And all those Anambra men.
So, but what else did I learn? I'm trying to recall to memory because the lessons are scattered in it. Okay.
Maybe you can group it. Maybe you can say, this one I learned it like about industry and entrepreneurship. I learned about relationships. So you can group it maybe so you easily remember.
Okay. I think something I learned from Paulo is just know how to sell everything. Just sell.
Sell your shit.
Just
Sell your
the way he sold to that Yoruba woman was outstanding, and
That's lovely.
like I love the way he sold to that Yoruba woman, and I felt like that young Paulo, if he could have been better,
much more virtuous.
Yes,
he was virtuous, he would have been better.
Maybe still promiscuous and all that, but he's better than the other Paulo that turned out to be a monster. It would have been better because he was so happy all the time. Like, he was so happy.
He grew up and became bitter. That is true.
He was so he became very bitter actually. Like then so I think I learned from Paulo that thing of how you can build that relationship with someone you're trying to sell something to. Customer, they call it customer.
If you go to the market, if you are not even pretty, if you have low self-esteem, just go to Gige market.
You will receive a high dose.
Fine girl, baby boy, boyfriend. Oh my god. I've never helped you before, Duja.
Don is in the market in the house.
They have had me.
Uduanka.
Afionye took.
Jesus.
You hear my color. By the time I turn to the person that's calling me my color,
See my
I'm like, come on now, we are not the same.
What does that mean?
Afionye took.
Afionye took.
Except it's
The
like
market is like
small market.
something like
Okay,
that. Small guys, like small gathering or
Otherwise,
something.
yeah.
Something like that. Like I
There's one
think
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's shy
Udani's
market.
market.
Yeah.
There are two markets
Okay.
in back in my state. One is in like Uduanka, then one is in Afionye.
Afionye took.
Afionye took.
You get see my color. My color.
Okay.
Those people can hype you. Now wow. Okay, which other lesson?
Yeah, I think there was something I read in. Let me just
Okay.
say this one. There's something I read in Aki Anabi's book. How to sell to Nigerians.
Okay.
Okay.
So he was talking about when you're selling to Nigerians, how you should overpromise. You know how you used to say, don't overpromise.
Yeah.
Don't overpromise.
Like,
Just
under promise and over
and
deliver.
over deliver. So he was saying that thing works for markets outside, but not in the Nigerian market. And that's actually what those boys usually do. Do you get?
Yeah.
That's what those boys usually do. So they'll be like, this is okay. So they'll be like, if you buy this one, if you buy, when someone's like, if you buy this pen, anything you write with this pen, it go better for you. Anything you write, if you sign signature,
You sign your name into the book of life.
So I think that is also one thing, and I saw that thing with Paulo a lot. With Paulo, I saw it with Paulo, and then What again? That also known. That a good name is better than silver gold.
There's this meme where it is that when they say nothing is really my account, that is only my name. Yeah, because someone said a good name
is better than a good name is better than
God.
See me looking for my lessons.
Very, very enough. I think we should call this episode Áfàméfùnà. I was really thinking that we should call it something else, But I think Áfàméfùnà is a good name.
Yeah, aside from the fact that it's actually the movie title.
And also
Actually, a good name to me.
I also learned from the movie too. Yeah, let me say this one.
Yeah.
Don't get involved in evil practices. Because Odogo was when he was indoctrinating his boys, when all of them sat down and he was eating meat and they were watching him. I don't think they were paying attention. I don't know, Sha, but I don't think all of them were paying attention to the story he was telling them. He was telling them a story about one guy that stole Osita.
Okay, about that guy they cut his
hand off that he stole. That they cut his hand off. And then he was now telling them the moral of the thing was don't get involved in evil practices.
So you think that the Igbos also have what is the evil practices? Like that thing is very culture dependent. Like generally, virtue has its resourcefulness. I think the thing about virtue is that its resourcefulness comes out with time.
Yes.
With time, like it just always comes out. One of the most prominent lessons for me from this movie is like what the Yorubas will say, surulere, like patience pays.
Yes.
Like really, just giving things a lot of things time. Yes. Like giving the Igbo man is very quite patient too.
No, really, because like for Odogu to be Odogu, we don't know when he started.
When
like
he started.
If it's now that people are looking for how to get rich, and you want to say what to do. I tell you, 2 months, 3 months, you're not seeing the money. If that Ladi brothers come, you will take their
evil practices. Whoa, that was. I think too, like some of these virtues are transferable, like not just from business, which makes me say something about, like you said, if Paulo he kept being promiscuous, but if he was a little more virtuous, right?
Patient.
Yeah, I mean something like patience, something like loyalty.
Yes, loyalty.
I think he had it. He always had it when he came at the benefit.
Yes.
He always had it, which is transferable to relationships, for instance, like. It's a lesson that he could have had in business, but was transferable. Like notice all of Afam Street, and I'm not really praising. I mean, there were points where the boy was really foolish and naive, but he always learned quickly. I think it's the thing I like about Afam the most. He always learned quickly. In fact, at a certain point, he started having the sweet mouth that Polo was having. He always picked up things very quickly.
Yes, that's true.
But his characteristics were transferable across the loyalty. He didn't just have it in business. He had it across
like in his life,
his relationships as a person. It's the same thing with Paulo. It was inevitable, like you said. It was just inevitable that he would turn out to be the kind of person that he was. Because if he didn't develop that trait in one context, like leaving it unchecked there and getting away with it, meant that he would be the kind of person to always want to cut corners, to always want to, like when things don't pay you, you allow people to go. Like imagine blackmailing somebody. He didn't even say, "Give me the boy back, give me the son." Like he didn't even to show you the irresponsibility he always thought with,
actually
with growing up. And as much as I regret, I would say pained. I will not say regret. I was pained that the lady got away with, like I say really, she got away with that. Her gullibleness, if there's a word like that, her foolishness. Like as much as I'm pained that she got away with it, because like who knows, like those are the kind of characters that would probably cheat on their husbands and say, they don't say I still love you. They'll tell the man I still love you, but they will say I didn't, or it's not about I didn't mean to do it. They will tell you that they are entangled with the person they are cheating with, but they will not tell you they still love you. Like that's such gaslighting and emotional blackmail. Like the trait, if there is such a sequel or something, I mean, if there's something you extrapolate, it feels like
what a nonsense.
So that's why it pained me, Sha, that he stuck with her. But I think I'm happy that he was loyal to her. It feels like the type of thing that I would I would
Amaka
like to
disappoints.
terminate. Amaka disappoints.
This Amaka disappointed truly. This is the one that guy was talking about.
Yeah.
All of us will have an Afam finally. Afam, I think
Or be an Afam.
or be an Afam.
Yeah.
Actually, Afam, such an awesome, lovely character.
Well, I think with that,
Oh my god.
it should be a wrap.
This was such an insightful and
But
nice
really, I would like to
Thank you
feature
so
on the, I would like to feature on this podcast
I'm so
again
grateful
sometime.
I was here.
I would like to,
I'd like to be here too. So
I would like to feature on this podcast.
you have parting words
Sometimes.
for us. Then you want to tell us apart from the
Maybe not us, but like NTD family,
yeah,
people that
tell
listen to us.
the family.
Apart from Áfàméfùnà. The good name is better than whatever. What is it better than, please? Super and good.
Riches.
Okay, I think it pays to from all our conversations we've had here. The values are already like you can hear them from the conversations we've been having. So I think that integrity, that dignity, that confidence, that that sense of self-worth
Yeah.
is very, very important, because that's one thing that girl lacked, and that's on our own end. That's also something that Afam had very well.
Yeah.
Are you getting?
Yeah.
So you could see that a sense of self-worth can, when someone tries to intimidate you or to blame you for something you know, do whatever, for someone that has a sense of self-worth, he can stand up for himself. He knows he will not shortchange himself. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that self-worth is important, and I think that is something that Amaka did not understand whose daughter she was. The daughter of Odugu.
Yeah.
Are you getting? But Afam, coming from a poor background, he knew his father told him a good name is better. Are you getting? So he knew he had this self-worth, this self-worth. The things he felt he could not do. And for me, that reminds me of how we'll be growing up, and then there are certain moral standards that our parents will want to put in us. They want to put in us. So that is very, 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 very instructive. Very instructive. If you want to get the remaining of the parting words, listen to the whole episode. Listen to the whole episode. And then my last and my final parting word to you all is, I shall be back.
Guys, did you hear that?
He's gonna be back.
He's going to be back.
I shall be back.
He's going to be back. So until then, you guys can get your faith-based, customized
Yeah, I
teas
think we'll
from
put
the shop Eden.
the Instagram handle on
Yeah,
in the
we'll put
description box.
the description box. And then watch out, the shop Eden is a very, very priced brand to us personally.
Yeah.
Because it's one that's important to our host.
Oh my
Right? So we are going to you'll be seeing more of us talking about the shop Eden in coming probably posts or coming days, I think. So until then, please, you can get your faith-based customized teas from the shop
Shop
Eden.
Eden.
Right?
Yes.
And then you can listen to this. If you want to start a business, you can listen to this episode.
Yeah, so
of Another
we
Day.
should even put that. This episode is important for your business.
It's very, very important. Very important. I haven't. I mean, I have participated in the podcast from inception. This is the most insightful podcast episode for me.
Sorry.
I
God.
Oh,
So-
Jesus. Oh my
the most
God.
insightful
If you
for
see
me.
the place we are staying at, the wisdom is choking
It
me
dey
right
choke
now.
me.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
God, the wisdom now. Hey,
Oh
God.
my God.
Fine, but
My
yeah.
head is about to burst.
Then
All good, guys. Until the next
until
one.
next time.
Yeah, it's Nandoja.
Bye.
Bye.